And so all ballots used in any regular, special, or general election of the commissioners or mayor held under authority of the charter shall be.
It's good to me.
Bernadette,
Yes.
go further up on that page. We left off on that first paragraph, mid-paragraph.
Is that paragraph 5 or?
No, it's part of one that continue from the previous page, D1.
Okay.
So you left off at the 2 candidates for commission.
Okay, I was talking for a long time then. Okay. All right. So is that 5.1D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Regular elections of mayor and commissioners, runoff elections, qualifications of voters, conduct to conform to statutes. So this deals with when there is a general election, it shall be held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. You saw that somewhere else. Of even numbered years to choose a successor to the elective office of mayor or commission where said are expiring unless the general election being conducted by the Miami-Dade County Elections Department. So here, one of the things that I mentioned earlier was the Miami-Dade County Elections Department. If they are doing a different day, then this is, we have to follow whatever day they're doing. So the legislature has recognized that, and that is something that can take precedent over anything that you see in your own charter for all cities. Any person who shall possess the qualifications requisite to be an elector at the general state election and shall have resided in the city of Opa-locka more than 45 days next preceding the city election at which it says he offers, but he or she offers to vote and shall have registered with the Elections Division of Miami-Dade County shall be a qualified elector of the city. And the clerk will give anybody running for office all of this information. This is a part of the packet that I believe anybody who's running for office will receive. Any person who shall be a qualified elector of the city and who shall have resided in the city of Opa-locka more than 365 days prior to the date of the election at which the person seeks to qualify as a candidate for the office of commissioner or mayor shall be qualified as a candidate to seek the office of commissioner or mayor. So I've kind of gotten into, and I didn't really intend to read every paragraph or anything, but these are basically the rest of this section going up to 6 deals with the qualifications, just highlighting that it will be $250 when that has to be deposited with the clerk of the city of Opa-locka, and you have to qualify within a period, and that you have to commit the qualification period for elector candidates for the office of mayor and commissioners shall commence at 9 a.m. on the first Monday in August of each even numbered year and continue until 12 noon on the Friday, which is the 11th day after the commencement date. So there may be some things within the charter in terms of how the elections are qualified and things that happen. And with the city clerk being your local supervisor of elections for the city, she may have certain recommendations that she may at some point recommend that you all look at to make her job a little bit easier. And I'm not sure if she will or not, but those are some things that you may consider. So when you get to a point where you're going through this, those may be questions that you consider asking, how this is working. But you'll see the rest of the qualifications, including, what it takes to be a candidate. They are outlined here in section 5.1. I'm going to go on to section 5.2, initiative and referendum. And so this really has to do with one of the things that you all are kind of dealing with now. So the power to initiate and reconsider ordinances. So it can be done in 2 ways. Initiative, which is the electors shall have the power to propose ordinances to the commission. And if the commission fails to adopt an ordinance, so propose without any change in substance to adopt it at the city election, provided that the required signatures in section 5.2 C1 have been met and provided that such power shall not extend to the annual budget or the capital program or any ordinance appropriating money, levying taxes, or setting salaries of the city officials or employees. So under those circumstances, it can be done by initiative in terms of reconsidering any ordinances. It can also be done by referendum. So the electors of the city have the power to require reconsideration by the commission of any adopted ordinance. And if the commission fails to repeal an ordinance so reconsidered, to approve or reject it at the commission at a city election, provided that such power shall not extend to the annual budget or capital program or any ordinance appropriating money, levying taxes, or setting salaries of city officers or employees. And so this charter is unique in that it does give citizens the opportunity to challenge ordinances, which is kind of a unique thing with charters. Commencement of proceedings. A minimum of 10 electors may commence initiative or referendum. And this basically tells you the way in which you can commence proceedings if you want to go forward with commencing an initiative or a referendum. And you basically, you do it by filing with the clerk an affidavit, and you have to state that they will constitute the petitioners committee. And some of this kind of mimics also the statute as well. So Florida statutes also has a process upon which petitions are to be considered by the electors. And this basically gives the form of that. I'm going to move on down to let's see here. Okay, so yeah, that's getting into the real detail of how to do the petitions, and we can dive into it, but for your purposes, unless you're considering that specific section, I don't know that that's going to help a lot. But if somebody wants to dive into it, we can go through each sentence. I'm going to go to Section 6, Charter Amendments, and this is the procedure to amend. The charter may be amended in accordance with the provisions of Section 5.03 of the Home Rule Charter of Miami-Dade County. The city shall enact an ordinance to implement this article. And so this is basically in your charter now that you can have charter amendments consistent with the county, how the county does theirs in a specific section of the county. If conflicting amendments are adopted at the same election, the one receiving the greatest number of affirmative votes shall prevail to the extent of such conflict. So if you have one charter provision saying one thing and another saying something else, because let's say the commission can't make up their mind once they give get your recommendations, then whichever one receives the most votes will be the one that is the prevailing amendment for inclusion in the charter. Severability, if any article, section, or part of a section of this charter shall be held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, it just means the remaining will still stand. And you will hear that pretty much with all of the ordinances that are passed by the city commission. So if a court determines that any part of it is invalid, then the rest of it, to the extent that it is legal, will still stand. Section 7.2 deals with conflicts of interest and ethical standards. All commission members, officers, and employees of the city shall be subject to the standards of conduct for public officers and employees set by Miami-Dade County or such other ethical standards adopted by the commission. And also it does apply to the state ethics as well. So the commission may by ordinance adopt additional standards of conduct and the code of ethics, but in no case inconsistent with state law. So really, you all can be more restrictive if you'd like, but you can't if it conflicts with the Miami-Dade County charter, or if it conflicts with the state law, then it would be invalid. All elected officials, employees, and appointed board members of the committee members shall disclose any interest in real estate or other businesses upon entering office or being hired, and shall redisclose annually thereafter, except as otherwise provided by law. And so these are forms and things that the clerk's office would disseminate, and I believe this is something that's done within the city. Without in any way limiting the generality of the foregoing, no commission member shall have a financial interest, direct or indirect, or by reason of ownership of stock or other equity ownership in any corporation or entity in which, in any contract, or in the sale to the city or to a contractor supplying the city of any land or rights or interest in any land, materials, supplies, or services, unless after full disclosure to the commission of the nature and the extent of such interest, the same is authorized by the commission before the event or accepted, turning the page, and ratified by the commission after the event. And so, so long as the commission ratifies it, this would be allowable. But obviously, there are other ethical considerations that commissioner may have to adhere to if they are more stringent in the Miami-Dade County Code of Ethics or Florida law. No member of the commission who possesses such financial interest shall vote on or participate in the commission deliberations concerning any such contract or sale. Any violation of the section with the knowledge of the person or entity contracting with the city shall render the contract voidable by the commission. So that is in your charter, and that is, kind of I don't want to say unusual. I mean, normally, but it is, because normally you would have certain ethical state requirements and also local requirements, but for it to be in a charter, that is unusual. So section 7.3, city personnel system, all new employment, appointments, and promotions of city employees shall be made pursuant to personnel procedures to be established by the manager from time to time. The city shall make all efforts to encourage the hiring of city residents and to encourage employees to reside within the municipal boundaries. So you no longer see charters requiring that the city employees live within the city boundaries. And so this is some language about encouraging, but I think the other more important part of this is it really solidifies the fact that the city manager under your form of government is the person who makes the personnel decisions. 7.2, variation of pronouns. This is just basically where, they have some saying he, but obviously that will refer to either whether it's masculine or feminine. It doesn't really matter. It will refer to both genders. 7.5, no discrimination. The city shall not adopt any ordinance or policy that discriminates against any person due to race, religion, color, national origin, physical or mental disability, creed, age, sexual preference, or gender. And precedent over related laws. In case of a conflict between the provision of this charter and the provisions of the code to be adopted pursuant thereto, the charter terms shall control. Moreover, nothing in this charter shall be construed to alter, abolish, affect, or amend the general laws of the state now in force, or which thereafter may be enacted relative to or affecting the city. And so basically, this is basically, this takes precedent. Your charter is more important than any resolutions that you may pass or the commission may pass, any ordinances that the commission may pass. This charter will take precedent over those things. You also have some transitional provisions, which I think they speak for themselves, and the effective date, dealing with the terms of office. The revised charter takes effect upon adoption and ratification by a majority vote of the electors of the city. And all of these dates have since passed. They refer to 2012 and 2014. And so those are fully, these provisions that were made then are fully in effect here. And so that concludes the review of the City of Opa-locka City Charter. And I can answer any questions if you have any. And I'll turn it back over to the chair at this point.
Madam Chair.
Okay, does anyone have any questions to give to the
Yeah,
attorney?
Yeah, I have a question, but I want to, for it to be explained to the public who's viewing. Section 5.2, when it says, Section 5.2, A1 and 2, where it says that, that power should not extend to the annual budget, capital program, or ordinance.
Let me back up because I see 5.2 as the initiative and referendum.
Yeah,
Are you?
the initiative and the referendum. Could you explain to the viewing public what city officers are? I'm quite sure they'll get what the employees are, because they may consider that the members of the commission are city officers.
I'm not really sure what you mean because what this has to do with is whether it's you're actually the power to initiate and reconsider ordinances. And
Yeah,
so it
like,
has to do.
what I'm asking is, I'm sorry. What I'm asking is the clerk, the city clerk, the city attorney, city manager, those are city officers, right?
They're charter officers, but officers of the city can be considered city commissioners.
Okay, I just wanted to explain to the viewing public, that's all.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Thank you for the opportunity to review this with you.
And thank you. Again, any more questions for the attorney? Okay, so we go to our next on the agenda is the public comment. Please limit to no more than 3 minutes. Okay. Now we go to our next step. And this one is the item for the next meeting agenda, which is scheduled for August 7th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Those of us that are here, would that date be conflicting with anything that is that correct? Anyone? I don't think it's a Monday. I think it's also a Thursday. Verify it. Okay, that's also a Thursday.
Okay.
It is the first Thursday of August.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Let me see, Mr. Fernandez.
Mhm.
That's okay for you, August 7th at 6:30?
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So if we have nothing else to be discussed. Over there.
Yes, I don't have anything. So, are there any items that the board would like to bring back at the next meeting for maybe, discussion?
Not,
It-
not that I know of, not here, not now.
Okay.
Yeah, so far, me neither. Now, would it be in regards to what the attorney just read? If we go back again and we're like, wow, I should have asked this question, we can bring it back at the next meeting?
Yes, so basically what the city attorney went over was the charter in its entirety for the city of Opa-locka. And what the charter review board will do is discuss and propose any discuss any proposed charter amendments that they see that, they want to bring forth and have a discussion and well, ultimately, upon the board voting on it, it would be brought forward to the city commission for consideration. So, so you guys are serving in an advisory capacity.
Mhm.
And it's to review the city charter and discuss any proposed charter amendments that you may want to see brought forth, and for the commission to consider.
Okay, and again, that's what the attorney just read. That's what you're talking, okay, I just
Yes.
want to make sure.
Yes,
that I'm looking
that's the
at
entire
right
charter.
document.
I know
Okay.
she only did half this meeting, but
Mhm.
she did the first meeting we had in
Yes.
June. She did the first half of the charter.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, so we don't have anything to discuss with the board? Okay, so we'll do our adjournment. Do I do the time or you?
So I would need a motion and a second for the adjournment, and then you can just state the time of the adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, I second it.
Yes, yes, you may, Chair.
Huh?
Yes, you
Oh.
may.
Okay. And the time is 6:36. The meeting has adjourned. I'm sorry, did I say six?
7:36.
Six.
We know what you meant.
I know this is a legal document, so you have to make sure that we're in the correct time zone. Okay,
Thank you all for being here, and you have a good evening.
yes, and you too. Okay.
Hey, have a good evening.